Man, you Hebrew Israelites always lying, man.
Avery, I know you didn't just call out the purple and gold. Do you remember what happened to the last brother that called out the purple and gold?
We want you to know that you are a Hebrew Israelite. You can be here, but you cannot spread your doctrine here.
Avery, you already started something you can't finish. The Trinity you believe in is that Christ is co-eternal and co-equal with the Father. Trash. Hey, babe, all them apologetics be reading, but they don't what?
Understand.
So let's break it down. Colossians 1:15. It says, who is the image of the invisible God and the firstborn of every creature. So Christ is not co-eternal with the Father. He was the first creature, firstborn of God. All right? Now, I know context matters for God logic, as it does with us. Verse 16 gives a little bit more context. It says, for by him, Christ, were all things created. Now, I know what the apologetic wants to do. If all things were created by Christ, then how was Christ himself created? They missed the point. Let's keep reading. It says, for by him are all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth. That's a distinction. When Christ was brought forth first from the Father, he then created all things, heaven and earth. Remember, God the Father and God the Son stood outside of time. But let's get a little bit more detail behind that. Proverbs 8 and verse 22. It says, the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. What does that mean? Christ was already with the Father before the earth was. That's what makes it possible for him to be the creator of heaven and earth after being the firstborn created of God. So babe, how's that cooking class going?
Good.
All right, let's get one more, Avery. But Christ was not co-eternal with the Father. In verse 24, it continues to say, when there were no depths, I was brought forth. Meaning what? He was the firstborn of all creation. Then he proceeded to make the rest of creation. Wait, you hear that? My bad, the bread's done. It's not the only thing that's burning in the oven. That's a different story, different video. Now, when you read 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, it talks about how Christ and God are not equal. There is a hierarchy with God the Father and God the Son. It reads, but I would have you know, Avery, that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. So there is a hierarchy. They are not co-equal. Neither are they co-eternal. The Trinity is still false.